Well, good morning, our beloveds. It is another day here in paradise. But what does paradise feel like? When you picture yourself on a stranded island somewhere, do you think that it would always be perfect, or would you have some inclement weather, some tidal waves, some natural disasters, whatever that looks like? It is the cycle of life, after all. But again, what does paradise look like for you? For many of you, it is sitting by a tiki torch in a lounge chair, drinking Mai Tais. That is your idea of heaven or nirvana. But what about your soul's purpose or desire to grow? It may be your physical body's desire to sit there like a stooge, making no noise and exploring nothing and doing nothing, simply eating, sleeping, and fucking. Yes, we said the F word. Get used to it. It is your experience here, or experiences here, that are designed to establish growth. What if every seed that you planted in the garden said, I choose not to grow. I choose not to explore. I just choose to sit here. Well, how on earth would that ever help humanity? You would have no food. You would have no oxygen. You would have no clothing or protective shelters. You would have no fire. You would have nothing. So the entire premise of this planet is growth, self-development, and balance. When you look at particular species in the wild kingdom, and we're talking specifically about plant life right now, it becomes adverse. And what we mean by adverse is it experiences contrast with its hospitable environment. It does not know to say, I don't like these elements. It's too cold. It's too wet. It's too narrow for my growth. It simply grows and adapts and dies. And when its seeds replenish itself, it is the hardy ones that are replenished. Those who are unable to grow in a particular environment cease growing much earlier than the production phase, the harvesting phase. So man is really no different. You are here to adapt to new environments. And this means that you too will need to grow. You will need to be challenged. You will need to develop adaptive survival skills. And you will need to implement the newest techniques and tools that are available in or through the ether. It is the way that man has always developed. When you look back at the cycles of life, there were very developed and institutionalized civilizations in the past, but their greed-mongering got the best of them, and they perished. And then man had to start over again and again. So what makes this time frame different? Because you guys have finally reached the stage or age of Aquarius, which means moving into a more loving vibration. And this simply means that your heart chakra, your energy body, your means of manifesting as well as manipulating must change, because the narcissists within you, or what we would call the toxic people, must cease to govern, and the loving, kind people must now come in and take over the helm. It is your journey, the meek and the mild ones, to become the leaders. And we are here to assist you. There are many, many institutions that are toppling because the top-heavy, the institutionalized organizations that have manipulated and controlled you are being exposed for who and what they are, and are ceasing to exist on one platform or another. And the more loving and compassionate organizations will seek and receive more donations, support, and augmentation. Much is in flux these days, as you can see. The natural disasters are increasing. The institutions are being spotlighted for corrupt and aggressive behavior. And your eyes are beginning to experience what your senses have known for years, and that is that something stinks. Something stinks, and you must now flesh it out and remove it from your pile. And you ask, what pile? Your pile of influence, your pile of control, your pile of decision-making, your pile of belief systems that one agenda is better than the other, or simply that love doesn't matter, that there is not enough to go around, that your boundaries and borders are more important than the quality of life, and simply that you know best. It is now a time where the universe is coming in and is righting the wrongs and is stepping up to allow those who are natural-born leaders to control more and those who are obstructionist will lead less. Finding collaboration is the solution. Seeking input from others on what the best course of action is matters. Creating connectivity with all participants instead of the hierarchical parent knows best, children are to be seen and not heard, or oftentimes not even seen. Those days are coming to an end. Your mamas, your real mamas, with the mama energy, desire to bring in this new loving energy where they hold and they nurture and they pretend no more that everything is okay when it's not. You're finding so much education and information in the narcissistic abuse and what it looks like. You can't go anywhere without it being on the cover of a magazine, the topic in a news article, or conversation on the radio or in media. You all are beginning to see that this term, which is really overused in many ways, is important. It is pointing the finger at what has allowed this corruption to exist for too long, and that is that you all have made yourself submissive to the hierarchy of control. And your young people are no longer interested. And it doesn't mean that they have the right solutions in mind, but they definitely have other solutions in mind. Their motto is, if it's broken, fix it, and any change is better than no change. Your climate control policies are laughable. Your health policies are ridiculous. And your military industrial complex controls the entire world because he who has might has power. And you just beat one another over the heads with clubs or nuclear arsenal. But it's all the same energetic imprint, which is I'm going to beat your ass to win and control the resources. And there are no more resources really to extract. No more people anymore to control, because everything has disintegrated. And now you're dealing with broken, fractured people who don't wish to participate anymore and won't. The economic output model is dead. Hear that again. The economic model that depends upon the output of each worker bee is dead. You are here just to sustain life, not to maximize profit. And therein lies the shift that is coming. Be prepared. Your young people need less and demand more and will fight you to the death in many instances because they don't want to be slaves to the system like former generations. The young people have shown you that in one way or another. You call them lazy. You call them incendiary. You call them petty. You call them unproductive. You call them lots of negative words. But this is the imprint of this next generation. And they will not be enslaved like former generations. So if you want this system to keep working, you better find a way of creating an output model that works for these young people, where they are not selling their soul to your personal profit, but instead you share the wealth with all, wherein everybody benefits because everybody is busting their ass for your bottom line or top dollar. It's coming. It is the year of revolution in many ways, as you're seeing and feeling. Much has shifted. Much is at its breaking point. And you're beginning to see how your resiliency that you thought you had in your protective measures don't exist. You guys have been putting Band-Aids on for way too long instead of building a better and newer system. So we're just here to say, sit back and watch. There's no fear that is needed. What is coming is coming. What is going is going. You know what death looks like. You know what birth looks like. And you know what rebirth looks like. So as the rebirth in the Northern Hemisphere is about to begin, let that be a sign to you all of the regeneration of new energies, of this year of manifestation. We told you that the first 3 months would be quite difficult and that it would ease starting the 4th month of this particular year. And you are almost at the precipice of this juncture. It will not be what anybody expects. Civil war in these days need not be done by hand-to-hand combat. There are many more ingenious solutions that the young people are fostering, and in some instances, even the old, because as many of you use the term woke, there are many older people who too see the writing on the wall and want to be part of this shift and change from the old paradigm to the new, and they're embracing it because collaboration, not competition, is the motto for the future. It is that simple. Find your place on the sidelines and watch as the fireworks are about to really begin as we shift the paradigm from the old to the new. It is nothing to fear. It is everything to embrace, because your new lives will surpass the imagination and the dreams of the old lives, if that is even possible. Make room in your hearts. Make room in your lives. Make room in your yards. Make room in your experiences. And then lastly, make room in your expectations of what is possible. Magic is real, and it is about to be bestowed upon you. And so it is. Namaste.